Hey golfers, are you struggling with a scoop? A scoop is when you come through at impact and you start to break your wrist. When you break your wrist like this, you are causing your ball flight to have excessive height and spin, and you are struggling with contact, usually off the bottom of the club or even chunking behind the golf ball. This all can be problems caused from this one simple problem called the scoop. Today I have a two-step process for fixing your scoop once and for all. So stay with me when we work on how to lean the shaft and compress the golf ball for every club in your bag. So what is a shaft lean? A shaft lean is any time that I see the handle ahead of the club head. We do this because we're trying to compress the golf ball through impact, and this is going to help us increase ball speed by lowering the launch and lowering the spin rate to increase our distance. Now we need to do this within moderation. Make sure that you are still getting the performance out of your clubs and you're not delofting the club too much for the intended shot to be able to stick a green. But if you're scooping, you definitely want to exaggerate this because you need to be able to bring that loft down so we can just get some added distance compared to where you're already at. So when we are doing this, we are delofting the club from its static position. This is my 7-iron here, which is 33 degrees of loft. When I am delofting this club and leaning the shaft, at impact, we'll see that loft much lower. So I'm just going to hit a stock swing here, trying to lean that shaft forward, making sure that I compress the ball as best as I can. So right around 20 degrees, so I took that from 33 down to 20. So I delofted at 13 degrees. Now, that is very, very good. For the average person, we generally don't see this. A lot of my students that are scoopers are usually coming back almost the same as the way they started. So when you're starting here at address, you're roughly at the static position of 33 degrees. And then when I come back to impact, we return it right back to 33 degrees. This is not what the best players are doing. The best players of the world and the best ball strikers, when they come through, they are leaning the shaft. Now, what am I doing when you see this leaning of the shaft motion? I'm rotating my body and I'm bowing my lead wrist. Those are the two keys that we're going to go through today, making sure that you can get the delofted shaft lean to be able to get this club to compress at impact. So when we are doing this, it's mostly, again, from body rotation and that lead wrist. So let's break this down. I'm going to start with the impact rotation drill for you today. And when I do this, I want to address the golf ball and then stand totally upright. When I take my address, I'm going to stand totally upright and I'm going to point the shaft at a spot in front of me. And I'm going to use the camera here today. When I'm holding this, I need to keep the club pointing at this spot, and then I need to rotate myself towards the target as much as I humanly can. Right? So as much as my mobility will allow, I need to rotate myself all the way to my left, right? So my club is still pointing towards the camera, right? But I need to rotate myself towards the target as best I can. Now, what did you notice I did here? I have a bowed lead wrist. My right arm had to collapse and get closer to my body. And then my body is facing towards the target and I'm looking back towards you at home. When I'm then in this position, I need to then bow to the ball. I just bend forward and to my right to be able to get this down to the ball. So this looks like a pretty good impact position. This is what the impact looks like for our tour players. We're getting a tremendous amount of body rotation, and when I'm in this position, my hands are forced to move forward with my body. I'm getting this rotation to lean the shaft. So when I do this, again, body rotation is absolutely a must. You have to rotate your body to lean the shaft to get rid of your scoop. So again, hold this out in front, rotate as much as you can, let the right arm kind of relax, and keep the shaft pointing towards that intended spot, keeping the club nice and upright in its same position we started from. Then we bend down, bowing to the ball, and I'm just going to feel this position. I can feel the rotation of my lower body, a stretch through my hips and my core and my lead lat, right? My left lat muscle is really stretching as my body works across, or my arm works across my body. So now that I'm in this position, I'm going to rewind and then fast forward through the ball. By doing this drill, I'm really going to be successful delofting the club because I'm already stretching myself into that more open position of impact. So I went from, again, around 20 degrees to now down to less than 15 doing this drill. That means that I'm delofting the club much better. I need to be able to get that number as low as possible since I'm doing this as a drill. So I'm holding this club up in front of me, rotate myself, bending down, and then I'm going to rewind and then hit. I find that to be a very helpful tool for my students because once you already know where you're supposed to go, it's a lot easier to get there, right? So I kind of then settle into the spot, and by going back, I just have to repeat myself right back into that position. And it helps me organize the body movements to returning back to that spot of impact. And that is the moment of truth. That's where everything is going to happen with the ball flight is based on how I deliver this club to impact, right? So make sure that we understand what it should feel like to deliver this club correct. And this impact rotation drill absolutely helps just being able to feel it in every part of your body. And make sure you kind of take note to those positions and make sure you strive for that in your actual swing. And now I need to work on the wrist positions, okay? And the wrist positions we're going to train is the bow of the lead wrist through the thread the needle drill. The thread the needle drill, you need two things. You need basically an aim stick, which we're just going to magnetically click onto our club, and a roll of tape. And I'm going to use this lye tape here to place it down on the other side of the golf ball. From with my club being set behind, I now have a roll of tape in the way, right? I need to be able to thread the needle with this aim stick to be able to get it to the golf ball. We're basically just going to try to nudge through the roll of tape to hit the golf ball. This helps me be able to not only keep my lead wrist down to make sure it goes down to be able to fit through that roll of tape, but I also need to aim it straight. What a lot of people struggle with when they think about leaning the shaft, especially those that struggle with a scoop, is that they simply just drag the handle forward and the face starts to point crooked. As you can see from down the line here, when I start to then just drag the handle forward, I lose control of the face and it starts to point way off to the right. I need to make sure that when I start to bow my wrist, which is this curling motion of my lead wrist, when I bow it, I'm going to see that now the club automatically organizes itself to stay straight ahead. This allows me, when I get the handle more forward, to then curl it to straight, right? By me pressing my hands more forward, this face wants to roll open. So you need to be able to roll and bow this lead wrist to keep it straight. Roll of tape is just simply giving me kind of a guidance to be able to find my way to the ball. If I do this incorrectly, again, I'm going to see this tape being in the way and I would never fit it through the hole. I need to be able to stay down and aim it correctly with the proper rotation of my wrist. Down, we curl and bow the lead wrist, and we lean the shaft with good body rotation, and look at we go right through the tape and found our way to the golf ball. Here, bow the wrist and rotating the body, staying down, going right through the roll of tape to the golf ball. Again, allowing you to not only feel the body rotation, but also feeling proper rotation and bend of my wrist. With this drill, I can really combine the two elements of a proper impact position. So let's again work on this. Make sure I feel the bow of the lead wrist, keeping the club face nice and square and delofted with great body rotation. 18.7, so we're about a degree, almost 2 degrees lower than what we started with this feel, right? I'm not even doing a drill. I'm just now enhancing that sensations I just got from the impact rotation drill and the thread the needle drill. So when I hit this shot, my height of my ball flight, we see is 95 feet, and that's in the lower right-hand corner. When I hit this shot, I want to then enhance this through this exaggeration of really excessive body rotation and leaning the shaft forward. We want to bring that height and loft down, and let's just see how low can we go. This can be helpful in certain times out on the golf course, just knowing that if I hit my 7-iron around 180 yards, 180 to 190, right? How low can I go when I'm trying to hit it about 190 yards? If I wanted to keep it under a tree branch, this would be good, useful knowledge. But also, it's good for exaggeration to get rid of that scoop. So again, how low can we go, game? We're gonna basically hit as many shots as we can to keep that number going as low as possible. And it's like a 3 strikes and you're out game. So when I get set up, I need to go lower than 95 feet with good contact, no change in ball position, and no change in swing speed. We have to keep everything the same, and we just need to do it through rotation and the bow of the lead wrist. Again, this is a 7-iron too, so I'm starting out at 33 degrees aloft, and I took that down to 17. Now down to 90 feet, lowered it another 5, so that's not bad. That's, again, really solid. You can see on the screen here is a very straight shot. So don't manipulate this loft by really shutting the face and hooking it way to the left. We need to do a straight shot. We need to hit it, obviously still solid at the same speed and same ball position. We are just doing it all through rotation and the manipulation of my wrist to keep that loft down. That one was a little thin, so that was kind of a cheater. I cheated that one by hitting it a little thin. So that was 74 feet, but let's just say that was solid, and I'm at 74 feet. I need to be able to now be lower than 74 feet to continue with my game. So I'm going to try to go lower. That's going to be pretty tough. Obviously, we don't want to try to just do it by thinning the golf ball. That one was hit nice and solid. Ooh, that one got a little high. I think I got that one almost too good. I got that to actually spin too high and got it up in the air. Really high ball speed on that one. Okay, so again, we're going to work through a lot of nuances here, but we're not perfect. We got to try to really work through this, get better rotation to be able to bring that loft down. My loft was up to 18.5 again on that one. I was at 17. So make sure we bring that down with a little bit more exaggeration. Okay, 81 feet. So that'd be 2 strikes. So both of those were higher than the 75. Again, if that one was kind of my goal to beat, we're at 2 strikes. Let's see if we can get it with a good strike this time. Okay, 15.1 on that one. So that one, pretty darn good. And I ended up still at 81 feet. So 75 feet is going to be a real test. No change in ball position, no change in swing speed. Make sure you're staying consistent, just really exaggerate. That one I pushed a little bit. Yeah, I pushed it a little bit to the right, which then made me go a little higher. So 3 strikes and I'm out. But again, a great feeling and a great game for me to feel this great rotation of my body to get to the proper impact. Remember, you need to be able to feel rotation to move the handle forward first. We do not go around and just press the handle forward. This is unlikely for any success. There's definitely no power here because my hands are pressed off to the side. Make sure that I am going to rotate myself and I have my hand directly in front of me. I have the club off to my side because I have the bow in my wrist. So I need to feel that I'm bowing the wrist and rotating the club all the way up to the ball. I'm not just going to come through right here and then let it all go. Make sure that I bow and rotate it through impact and then release all that energy beyond the ball. Thanks for watching today's video. If you like today's content, please like and subscribe our page. This is the only way that you can continually follow our channel and to continue to level up your golf game. We'd also like to extend you a free online video lesson so we can give you that personal touch to understand what's going on in your golf game and to be able to fully analyze the things that you need to do to continue to level up your golf game. Please again, reach out to us through levelupgolfacademy.com, hit that like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you at next week's video.